I'm your host, Carolyn Solo, LCSW, EMDR therapist, and mom of three daughters. Thank you for joining me.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 134, the Future Template Baron podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Carolyn Solo, and well, I don't really even know what to say. I am horrified, I'm devastated, I'm exhausted, I'm grieving, I'm terrified. I have felt broken by the news for years, but January 2026, wow, it's taken the cake. I'm having trouble focusing. I'm having a lot of trouble sleeping. I'm having trouble working. My nervous system is in a constant fight, flight, freeze cycle, torn between the need to feel informed, to be supporting the people on the ground in Minnesota, where all of my husband's family lives, by the way. They're all in the Minneapolis area. And then feeling like I need to smash something, and then feeling like I need to lock myself in a dark room so I can still show up to hold space for my clients. And I've been trying to launch a group cohort this month, which is a lot of work. And two of my kids are currently going through a rough time. And I'm questioning everything about my work, about how I parent, about how I live in accordance with my values, about the future. And I am so aware that I have tremendous privilege. I need to use it for good. And that Black and Brown and Indigenous folks in this country and around the world have lived in this state of terror and intimidation and fascism forever. And I am so damn protected. And that it's a privilege to feel this way only now or more now than before. And you may wonder, although I think most of my audience will not wonder for a second, why I am talking about this on a podcast about EMDR intensives. One of the reasons is that I can't think about anything else right now. It's Friday morning, January 23rd, and I was awake from midnight to 4 a.m., like totally awake. Doom scrolling, all those things. Finally fell asleep when I took some damn NyQuil, so yay for resorting to medication, but must, I guess, and I was crying my eyes out during that time and doom scrolling and looking at my babies safe in their beds and crying over Liam, that sweet, sweet baby who was captured, kidnapped by the domestic terrorists who go by the name ICE as bait for his father, and all of the disgusting people in this country who continue to tie themselves into cognitive dissonant knots about how that is justified. Like, seriously, roast in hell for all eternity. No punishment is sufficient for these people who think that it is okay for this to happen to little boys, little girls like Liam and everyone else this is happening to, who's being just disappeared. And I just kept turning over and over in my bed, wondering, what do I do? How do we continue on like this? How do I show up for clients when I feel so overwhelmed, unable to focus? When the clients I see with their incredibly complex histories are having massive upticks in symptoms due to the state of the world and due to their own vulnerability. And of course, the privilege thing, just saying it again, I know this has always been the reality for non-white people in this country, so I'm grappling with that as well. So yes, all of this impacts my work as an intensive therapist. And so I can't not think about it, not talk about it. And being a therapist is a political act. Therapy is political. My clients and the other therapists I work with deserve to know who they're working with and what my values are. And maybe in some ways this is not having a positive impact on my work, but not unequivocally negative, in that I'm in it with clients who are feeling the same, who are feeling seen when I can't hold back my tears, who feel safer when I say I am scared, when, not that I'm a blank slate therapist in any way, which you probably know if you've listened to me at all, but when my humanness is on full display and my eyes are puffy and red, and I'm completely normalizing how impossible it is to show up and pretend that we can just go to work, come home, watch Netflix and YouTube, and just feel okay. Because I can't, and my clients can't, and I know you all can't. And I'm also just feeling so distracted, so burned out. Like, I have, from work and the state of the world, I have like zero reserves left to be a mom. and that being a mom who my kids can feel safe with actually is my top priority. And maybe I need to figure out places where I can step back, and maybe I can't do all the things that I have been doing work wise, commitment wise, while also modeling activism and action and radical empathy as a parent. And what's more important than that? Like, what could be more important than teaching through my own actions to my own children what it means to stand up and be brave and do the damn thing when the time demands it? We always say, if I had been alive during the Holocaust, during the civil rights movement, during the ending of slavery, I would have been one of the good people. Really? Really? If I'm not showing that to my kids now, I wouldn't have been one of the good people, and so I need to be able to do that. And there's nothing that's more important than that right now. And, since my podcast is called Future Template Parent, well, sometimes the parent part is louder than the others. And today, this week, when I'm seeing a 5-year-old boy kidnapped by ICE, the parent part is really, really loud, right? They are all our children. And if we think that it's okay for harm to come to any of them, means that we are saying it's okay for harm to come to our own children, to all of our children. And, I said I was trying to launch my current cohort. It's felt awfully weird and tone deaf to be sending out launch emails and trying to recruit participants to the group and sounding salesy and thinking to myself, how do I feel about this messaging at a time like this? Is this really where my energy should be going in this time of absolute constitutional human rights, national and global crisis? Should I be just engaging in walking out, saying I'm not working, does that even matter? I don't know. Certainly boycotting Target and Amazon and all those places and continuing to do so. you know, I've been donating to places that are providing supplies to different groups that need, for immigrant. I've been donating to immigrant rights, organizations and people on the ground in Minnesota, all that stuff, right? Is that enough? But should I be even thinking about my own work, even though I know that it's important? Oh, the work we do is so important and real and is its own radical act. And intensives absolutely are all of those things. And, intensives, blah, 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 giving us time and financial freedom and more space in all the ways to show up in the ways that matter so desperately now. Because sure, of course I can loop this topic back to intensives, right? There's a way. But I don't really want to today. I don't need to spell it out for you all. You get it. It feels so much more important and real today to just share how awful this all feels, how deeply, deeply terrifying this all feels, and how I know I need to be figuring out where my energy is most needed and best spent, because doom scrolling at 2 a.m. is not making anything better. And feeling like I'm failing my children because I'm so drained by snapping, being angry, having no reserves, not modeling the kind of person I want them to be in the world, that's not making anything better either. And right now, I don't have any answers after a night of no sleep. And actually, that's been many nights this week. I barely have the energy to hit record today, and my eyes are definitely bloodshot and puffy from lack of sleep and from crying. And there's a huge snowstorm about to hit half the country that will likely cause power outages and additional suffering, and kids will be home from school for days on end, and families will be scrambling to keep them safe and warm while also trying to still work while they stay employed. I feel worried about all of you in the southern parts of the U.S. who don't normally deal with this kind of weather, and I know this will have come out after the storm, but I'm talking about the past from the future, or future from the past, or whatever. But I remember that last storm in Texas a few years ago that was so deadly and horrible, and just feel like, how much more can we all take? I don't know. Call this the episode where Carolyn really spirals and doesn't try too hard to stay on brand or on message or whatever. I think my brand is being a human and a mom and a therapist third, maybe. And it feels hard to separate those three roles. But definitely I'm a human mom therapist who is struggling hard right now. And I don't even know why I'm saying all this. I guess my hope is just that I'm sharing a few words that make you feel seen, and that it's vital that we're all finding ways to show up and be loud and protect our immigrant communities and protect those who are being profiled and terrorized. And just wanted to name too that like building a business can feel so hollow, even when it's a business that truly helps others, when the world is in flames around us. And I think a lot of us are feeling that discordance right now and not knowing what to do with it. Um, and but we also, it's important to not be immobilized by that not knowing what to do, because do something, small consistent action matters. So I don't have any answers, but I know I'm in it with you, and I see you, and I love you all, and I'm thinking of you all. And I guess back to more of my regular-ish content next week, I think. Not that things will be drastically different or better, but I also just wanted to be clear about where I stand on all these issues in case there's any doubt, although there probably isn't. But I just am at a loss for words, and that, as you know, is something that is unusual for me. So I just, who knows what next week's episode will be, but I just had to be real with you all about where I'm at right now, and how bizarre and wrong it can feel to be talking about building a business in the context of all this. And yet the work we do does matter. Oh, so everyone who is out there on the front lines, be safe. You are so brave. Everyone who is finding ways to support from not the front lines, that is so important too. What's most important is that we don't look away, right? Because this is not going away. And those of us who have the privilege to look away, we will live with that for the rest of our lives, with the guilt of that. So I don't know. I know this is, I'm not trying to get on a pedestal or soapbox, but yeah, our country is far from okay, and I'm not okay, and I know a lot of you aren't okay either. So thinking of all of you, and let's take care of each other.